I quit my dream job as a news anchor at 30 and now I'm starting over. I'm Sierra. Join me on this journey of self-discovery and self-love. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. We're starting off with lighting an incense to get the mood going. I love lighting incense. It really just kind of helps set the tone for the vibe, what's happening. It helps to cleanse the energy. So we have a nice poppy incense. We also have our tea. Today's tea is a lemon balm tea. And I'm not drinking it super hot today because y'all, this hair got me burning up. I washed my hair yesterday and blow dried it and put it like in a cute little bun. Well, I did like 4 little buns and slept in it. And it came out like this. I didn't want to straighten it because I'm going to the gym. So if you ever wonder why is she always wearing a sports bra, child, because I'm about to go to the gym. Crystal. Our crystal of the day is citrine. She's cute. Attracting prosperity, boosting confidence, and enhancing creativity. Thought to improve mental clarity, reduce negative energy, and promote emotional well-being. I like to wear it on my right wrist. So in our last video, we delved into quitting my dream job at 30, why I quit my job, choosing me, basically, suicidal thoughts, staying on the same path. I got so many DMs, text messages, phone calls, FaceTimes, people saying how much they resonated with the video and how much they could relate to what I was saying. So if you haven't checked that video out, go ahead and do just that. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the power of leaning on your support system, the importance of leaning on your support system, and why it's okay to start over, and taking away the negative thoughts that comes with living at home or moving back home or starting over. I think a lot of times, especially as millennials, we live in this world where everything we do is for show. You know, like, we don't like to admit it, but honestly, a lot of stuff that we do is for show. The vacations that we go on, the pictures that we post, a whole lot of stuff. The type of cars that we drive, the clothes that we wear, the bags that we buy. And it has started to warp our minds to feel shame when it comes to starting over or having to move back home or choosing to move back home or choosing to stay home. You know, if you have a support system and people who love you and care for you and they welcome you with open arms and they want to help you, allow people to help you. Allow people to pour into you and pick you up when you're at a low point. It's so interesting to me because a lot of times this is only really looked down on in American households, and specifically Black households. And a lot of other cultures, like living with your family, living with your mom, a lot of other cultures have multi-generational homes where everybody's income is kind of, you know, put together and resources are put together, and it creates a community. And I think in this year of 2025, where so many things are unpredictable, a lot of people, the average American person is struggling right now. The average American person is living paycheck to paycheck right now. And I thank God I'm not in that situation where, you know, I have to go look for a job or I have to find a job. I thank God for my support system, and I thank God for my financial stability that I have right now, because I realize that a lot of people don't have that. Majority of people don't have that. Majority of people don't have a place that they can turn to, a place they can go back home to outside of whatever they pay for. You know, so if you have that, that's nothing to be ashamed of. That is a blessing. So many things have been indoctrinated in us and ingrained in us that we have to have everything just figured out and be put together by this certain age. I talked about it in my last video, which I say if you haven't watched it, go watch it. I talked about it in my last video where turning 30, I had this big grandiose idea of what my life would be like. I would be back at home, I would be a news anchor in Detroit, and it just didn't happen like that. The cards just didn't fall that way. Not that it will not happen, but it didn't happen when I wanted it to happen. And I think a lot of times we have to stop thinking that things have to happen at a certain time. And if it doesn't happen at this certain time, then we are unsuccessful or our value goes down. It's not true. It's all a fallacy. Social media and just society has warped our minds to think that you're supposed to just continue to climb this corporate ladder, and you go to college, and after you go to college you get a good job and you stay at that job for 40 years in hopes of maybe retiring. But honey, with that president we got in office now, child, honey, a lot of people ain't gonna be retiring, and not just millennials. In the times that we are living in, it is so important for us to pour into one another, share our resources with one another, and build community with one another, and not be so, have this hoarding mindset where what's mine is mine, and this is mine, and this is mine, and you know, like that's just not how life is meant to be lived. And staying home with your parents, or moving back in with your parents, or having to stay longer than you thought that you wanted to stay, don't think of that as a setback. Think of it as a reset, right? No setbacks, only resets. We're resetting, we're rebranding, we're figuring things out. And our minds get so set on, oh, I have to know what I want to do by this age. I have to know my purpose and my passion. Some people figure that out easily and some people don't. You get to high school. When you're in high school, you're supposed to figure out what you want to do, right? So you can choose a major when you get to college. You go to college, you choose a major, and sometimes you get that major, you're like, I actually don't really like this. You know what I'm saying? But it gets to a point where you already started paying for those classes. So it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just stick it out and see what happens with this. You graduate from college, boom, no jobs. What's the tea? Y'all said that we was gonna get jobs after college. Girl, it's all a lie. I was talking to my mom the other day, and I was telling her about like the whole I quit my dream job thing and where I'm going with that. And you know what my mom said? She said, who dreams of working? Who dreams of working, right? Our passion isn't really in working, even though you have to work to survive. You have to work to eat. But who dreams of working for other people? I think what we need to do is to separate our passion from the job title, right? So like a lot of people think like, oh, my passion is being a teacher, or my passion is being a doctor, or for me, my passion is being a news anchor. So instead of that, it's more, my passion is informing people. My passion is helping people to heal, educating people, building community, which are all the things that I did as a news anchor, but finding more identity within self rather than the identity being the job title. It helps to reduce the shame that we feel with not having a specific role that we really want in the moment, or working at a certain job that we might not necessarily like, but it pays our bills. You can still live in your passion. You can still explore your passion. You can still explore your truths. And in the Black community, I think, especially as Black women, we feel shame in not being able to help people sometimes, choosing ourselves, right? And there's no shame in putting yourself first. There's no shame in choosing you. There's no shame of maybe not being exactly where you want to be in this moment. There's no shame in starting over. There's no shame in moving back home. There's no shame in not knowing what you want to do, girl. Because it's hard to say that I'm going to want to do this for the rest of my life. It just isn't fair to do to ourselves. And we shouldn't have to put ourselves in this box where, oh, this is the one thing that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm going to do this for 30 years so that I can possibly maybe retire. I say all of this to say there is no shame in pivoting. It's a blessing to be able to pivot and to switch and to put yourself out there. That's a blessing. There's nothing to be ashamed of with that. Social media has made us uncomfortable to be ourselves, you know, and to make mistakes and to start over. It doesn't have to all be put together right now. It doesn't have to all be put together right now. It's so funny when I'm making these videos, y'all, I'm really talking to myself too. Which is why I say that we're really going through this whole journey together, because the same stuff I tell y'all is the same stuff I'm literally telling myself in this very moment. This is very therapeutic for me. So as I pour into you, I pour into myself, which takes us to our journal topic. What is something I feel shame around, and what can I do to reduce that shame? Something that I felt shame around was leaving news. There's a lot of judgment in the industry when you step away. You're seen as weak. You're seen as, oh, you just wasn't built for it. Saying news is dog eat dog, baby. So stepping away, you're seen as weak. You're seen as, oh, you're not built. You can't handle it. So I had to let go of the shame surrounding that. I had to let go of that. One thing I ain't never had shame of was moving back home and living with my mama. That's something I've never had shame about. I felt it a little bit because I was leaving behind such a beautiful apartment that I just loved so much. It was gorgeous, y'all. A lot of times it's easy to feel shame in letting go. It's even like that in relationships. You don't want to start over because it's like, dang, I put in so much work and so much effort into this thing. I put in so much work and so much effort into this person. So you feel ashamed for having to walk away. Or financially, things happen and maybe you fall behind on certain bills and it forces you to have to start back over. There is no shame in that. That blessing is going to be so much bigger. God is going to bless you with something that's so much bigger. The universe is going to bless you with something that's so much bigger. Whatever you believe in, whether you're religious, spiritual, or agnostic, whatever you are, you're going to get something so much bigger for releasing that shame and for letting go and for showing God and the universe that I can let this go because I trust that something bigger is coming my way. Trust that something bigger is coming your way. It is a blessing to start over. We all need to be there for each other and take off these fake faces that we are all wearing where everybody got it together, nobody going through nothing. It's just not true. That's just a T. It's not true. A lot of people are going through the exact same things. And I have seen it because so many people have reached out to me since my last video saying, girl, I'm going through the same thing. And it feels good to know that you're not alone. Y'all know we got to go to our book. My sister really needs to sponsor me. Because, girl, I've been pushing your book. What is meant for you will arrive in your life and it will remain in your life. What did not transpire was not meant to. The end of that journey would not have led you somewhere you would have wanted or needed to be. If you are really honest with yourself, you know this on the inside. There were so many signs that you willingly brushed over in the heat of blind hope. If you spend your life fixated on the might have beens, you miss out on the steady currents that have carried you all this way. Notice what stays. Notice what is constant. Notice what perseveres. These are the things that the song of your life will be composed of. So last week we had a journal prompt where we explored what does choosing me look like. So for me, I put choosing me looks like leaving situations, people that do not align with my highest divine self, which I just did leaving a job, child, because they tried it. Choosing me means identifying triggers and checking in with my mind, spirit, and body when these triggers arise. Choosing me is having firm boundaries and sticking to those boundaries. It's one thing to set some boundaries, but girl, it's another thing to stick to those boundaries. Choosing me is putting me first even when it's hard or difficult. Choosing me is meditating, journaling, staying grounded. Choosing me is falling in love with myself. Choosing me is my birthright. It is what I deserve. I love you, SierraSearcy, and I will choose you each and every time. So don't forget, always choose yourself. Always protect your mind, protect your energy, and stay true to you. Know that it is okay to start over. Girl, don't get caught up in this whole luxury lifestyle, boom, 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 that the girls are pushing. Some of those girls are selling. Or they scamming. Or some girls just got that coin. Speaking of having a coin, we are going to talk about budgeting in our next video. So we're going to do a video on budgeting and how you can save $10,000 in a year. It's a method that I use to save money so I can be in this era of not working and pouring into me and resetting. If this resonated with you, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if you haven't checked out my last video, it will be either here or there. Go ahead and click on that. Always, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. We can grow, heal, receive, and do all this together. I love you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.